Good afternoon, dear tutor and classmates. We are going to present our academic dialogue. Our team is made up of Glice Stephanie Mayorga, Erika Vanessa Pico, Luisa Fernanda Granados, María Alejandra Pérez, and Eliana Marcela Castro. The problematic that we identified in the analyzed class is about low participation and communicative confidence in English language learning. This issue of low participation and lack of communication is a fundamental aspect of the development in the language learning. We will analyze some learning theories to understand better these barriers, and finally to propose strategies to change this problem. First, I'm going to speak about learner anxiety and lack of confidence when speaking in English. These problems are factors that can limit the active participation in class, and it can affect their progress in English acquisition.
Here we have the theories to analyze connections and relevance that is made for three authors. First, we have the monitor model by Stephen Krashen. This explains that language is best acquired naturally through communication, not just by studying grammar rules, but he also says emotions like anxiety can block learning. So a relaxed environment helps students to learn better. Here we have the mentalist theory by Noam Chomsky. He believes that humans are born with an ability to learn language because of a universal grammar in the brain. He says that children are not passive learners but active creators and understand diverse language. And here we have the sociocultural theory by Lev Vygotsky. He says that learning happens through interaction with others. He highlights the zone of proximal development, the CDP, where students learn best with guidance and collaboration by their parents or their environment.
Questions, monitor model. Acquisition versus learning. STEM questions monitor model difference between language acquisition and language learning. Acquisition is a natural and involuntary process that occurs when a person subconsciously assimilates a language through interaction with it. Learning, on the other hand, is a continuous and formal process where the rules and structures of the language are studied. The distinction is fundamental to understand how people develop and use a language in their daily lives. Affected failure hypothesis. They activate their hypothesis, explain that factors such as mentality, motivation, and confidence that affect how we learning a language. If a person is nervous or insecure, their affective failure increases, making it harder for them to learning. But when they feel calm and motivated, the filter discuss learning occurs more easily and naturally. The ruler of the monitor. Uh, Monitor theory explains that people use an internal editor when they speak, which allows them to conclusion correct their makes. However, if they correct tables too much, they can lose fluency and confidence. Therefore, it's very to focus on communicate natural and meaningful.
Theory mentalist Noam Chomsky. Now I would like to talk about Noam Chomsky mentalist theory, which includes the idea of universal grammar. Chomsky says that all humans are born with a natural ability to learn language. This means that all languages share some basic structures and that while learning a second language is possible for everyone. In this theory, error analysis is also important because it helps teachers see patterns in students' difficulties and improve the learning process. Active learn participation. Chomsky also believes that learners are active participants in their own learning process. He says that language learning is an evolutionary process and students learn best when they are exposed to a rich and stimulating language environment. This exposure helps them develop the ability to understand and use language naturally. In other words, the more language students hear and use, the better they become at communicating. Errors as learning opportunities. Finally, the mentalist theory says that errors are not mistakes to avoid, but opportunities to learn. Each lane has their own learning path, and the errors they make show what they still need to improve. By analyzing those errors, teachers can adapt their teaching to help each student more effectively. So errors are actually a map of process showing how learners grow and develop their language skills. In conclusion, Chomsky's mentalist theory highlights that language learning is natural, active, and guided by our own means.
Social theory of Lev Vygotsky. Learning through social interaction. The next refers to Lev Vygotsky theory of learning through social interaction. According to this theory, learning occurs primarily through social interaction and highlights the importance of the some proximal development, which is the difference between what the student can do it independently and what they can achieve with the guidance of a more knowledge adult or peer. This theory promotes collaborative learning and peer support to facilitate a deeper understanding of linguistic concepts. As of scaffolding teachings is essential in teaching of teacher must annually provide support and guidance and gradually withdrawn help as a student gain confidence in anatomy. This method encourages independence and motivates students to take responsibility for their learning process while using the language effectively. Authentic communicates and project-based learning. Project-based learning are crucial component of social cultural theory. Promotes language as kids using their ability to use language effectively in real-life situations.
Okay, this is a summary about monitor model and sociocultural theory. Monitor model theory of Stephen Krashen explained that influence of anxiety affect the learning process. and suggests that create a comfortable, relaxed, and safe environment can help students overcome communicative blocks. This theory proposes that communicative activities are important to building students with confidence and safety. The sociocultural theory of Lev Vygotsky focuses in social interaction to learn and suggests that students learn better with appropriate support, with collaborative work, and authentic communication. These proposals are key strategies to develop and improve the language skills.
Here we have the critical questions for reflection. Basically, this slide highlights the importance of reflection when studying English. And we are learning theories. By analyzing these theories, we can identify case ideas that explains how students acquire and use language. It encourages teachers to think critically about how each theory connect to real classroom situations and to choose the most effective approach for today's educational needs. And here we have the group learning process. These slides basically address the group's learning process, focusing on challenge like the anxiety and the lack of confidence, and recruitants for participating in communicated activities or other activities related. These strategies employed to overcome these obstacles as are discussed. This includes a creative supported environment in the classroom, using low risk activities, and promoting peer collaboration.
Theory versus practice, connection in the classroom. This section show how theories are applied in classroom practice. According to question, we use games and relaxed activities to reduce anxiety and encourage students to speak. With Chomsky, make mistakes are seen as an opportunity to learn, not as a filter. And one Vygotsky group work and projects are encouraged to improve communication. A monitor model, then creation, low risk activities and games are implemented to reduce anxiety and encourage students oral practitioners.
Mentalist theory, Noam Chomsky. Students' mistakes are analyzed to understand their learning process, providing constructive feedback. Social cultural theory, Lev Vygotsky. Collaborative learning and project-based activities are encouraged to develop communication skills.
Next, we will unwrap the stipulated question of the guide.
Okay, the first activity that I propose is time for personal stories. In this activity, the students will be able to participate in class and to put in practices your skill in English. So the students manage a personal journal in an app, and during the class, they have a few minutes to share an interest story from their day or their week. And through the app, they can show pictures or short videos about activities, places, reflections, and more. This activity helps to build confidence, connection, and fluency with the class. In this activity, the partners came to interact, making simple questions about the story, And the resources and digital tools that I propose to use are Day One app or Journey app. With these apps can to create the personal journal. And this digital journal helps to organize moments and ideas to present in class. Thanks.
Well, I will propose online game where each student answer a question about the topic with learning. If they don't know the answer, they can ask their classmate. This will only take 3 attempts. If they don't get the answer, the question will be challenged using the same methodology. This will help a student feel confident interacting with their classmates and in turn help they overcome their fear of speaking English. Furthermore, if they make mistakes when speaking, they won't be judged. Intense their willingness to work will be maintained. This will foster an empathic and understanding classroom for students. Digital tools or records for this activity I will only use a computer with internet access and the only games I created. Impact of this language learning as it is an online game and has a creative number of questions. This allowed me to analyze it, how many correct answers each student had, and therefore it allows me to see which area needs to be reinforced and which has already been approved in the learning of each student reading English classes. Thank you.
Third activity, I propose an activity called mini video blogs, where students record short videos expressing their opinion on topics like what is your favorite hobby and why. This activity helps students practice speaking fluency, pronunciation, and vocabulary in a fun and interactive way. It also builds confidence by encouraging them to speak in front of others. Digital or resources, students can use their cell phones cameras to record the videos. After recording, they can edit using tools like Canva or CapCut and then upload the videos to YouTube. This allows classmates to leave comments in English, encouraging peer interaction and further language practice. We will access the videos using rubric focus on clarity and pronunciation, use of vocabulary and grammar, creative engagement with peers through comments. This helps track process, influency, confidence, and language use over time. Thank you.
The fourth activity is video storytelling. The object to foster confidence and fluency in spoken English in intermediate level students to reduce anxiety and fear of public speaking speaking English. Description: to students will form pairs or small groups and choose and them or Henry for their story, such a personal experience, a trip, a book, or a movie. A student will create a script for a short story in English using grammatical structures and vocabulary suitable for their level. The script should include a clear introduction, development, and conclusion, A student will record their story in video format using digital tools such as Powtoon, Animote, or Adobe Spark. They can image, music, and sound effects to make their video more engaging. The student will edit their video using editing tools such as Move, Adobe Premiere Rush, or DaVinci Resolve. They can subtitle, transition, and visual their video more again. Students will share their videos in a safe and controlled environment, such as online forum or learning platform. The class will discuss the videos and provide construct feedback or fluency, clarity, and creativity. Digital tools trends, Powtoon, Animote, or Adobe Spark for creating interactive and engaging videos. Learning platform, Google Classroom, Limot, or Blackboard for sharing and discuss video. Thank you.
Okay, and the five activity, I will propose a digital storytelling activity where students can create and narrate their daily routines using tools like Canva or Genially to practice speaking and vocabulary. So we can use Google Classroom or Teams to share and comment our projects of all the students. And I would assess the impact through a rubric that measures the creativity, the grammar, and the pronunciation and participation during the feedback session. And that's all.
It's all. Thanks. Thanks, teacher. Bye.
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 Bye, teacher.